up, everybody? Show you something kind of neat. We got a little tonneau cover for the truck. So there's that. It was kind of a fiasco getting it installed. So it's just a cheapy little eBay one. I didn't want to spend too much money on tonneau cover, but some issues that I had was I mean, it fits the width of the bed, but the clamps that they supplied, they don't reach far enough across the bed to properly clamp down the side rails. So I was able to clamp down the back side back here using the little clamps, but in the front I had to just run some self-tapping screws into the bed. It is what it is. Maybe I can hunt down some other clamps that'll fit. Anyway, one thing I didn't realize with the tonneau cover rolled up, completely covers up my sticker. So maybe I can just peel the sticker off. I got another one. Maybe I'll set it up a little bit higher. Whatever. Oh, I'm gonna take this moment. Well, we got some like nice weather and I got some time off. I'm gonna roll the go-kart back a little bit, and I'm gonna take a look at these rear brakes and see what I need to do to bleed these things or get the rear brake to work again. Yeah, I know these go-karts usually take like some special little tool to bleed the brakes, because the master cylinder doesn't really have a very large reservoir. So what I'm worried about is as soon as I pop open like the bleeder valve in the back and start pulling fluid through to get any air bubbles out, I gotta have a means of like constantly refilling the little tiny reservoir in the master cylinder, or it's just gonna suck more air into the system. You've just defeated the purpose of doing this. There's a special little tool that I've seen. You take the cap off the reservoir. It's a threaded cap, and then there's a reservoir with like a tube on it, and the tube has like a threaded piece. It threads into the top of the reservoir, and you can fill that little, there's like a little cup or a little reservoir on the end of that hose. You fill that up, and then when you open the bleed valve on the caliper, and you start pumping the brakes, it ensures that you've got a constant supply of fluid, and any air in the system also rises to the top out of the system. But I don't have that tool, and people want a lot of money for something that I could probably make for like 10-15 bucks. But anywho's, I'm trying to think of what else I need to do while I'm out here, while I'm thinking about it. So the go-kart came with a little power supply cart. It's two 12-volt batteries connected in series to make a 24-volt system, and that plugs into, it plugs into this little guy here, and that supplies a 24-volt to the starter for the motor. I'm thinking what I'd like to do is take those two 12-volt batteries off the little service cart. They sit on a little tray, and what I might do is install that tray in the bed of the truck, and then I've got a place I can strap down those two 12-volt batteries. And then the idea is, if I take this thing to the track or a car show or whatever, I'll already have my power supply to be able to fire up the go-kart, do like a little demonstrations or whatever. If I take it to the track, I have a means of like starting it without having to like carry around that extra little service cart. All it is it's almost like a big pair of like jumper cables. They got the big alligator clips on them. I can just reach over the bed of the truck, connect those alligator clamps to the batteries, and then I'll have to double check, but I think that cable is long enough. It'll reach over the side of the truck, and I should be able to plug into the go-kart, should be able to fire it up, hypothetically. I just got to take some measurements and see if I got enough room. I don't know if you guys can see. The sun is kind of, yeah, but anyway, there's like a little pocket up here in front. I think that would be like a good spot to put that. The only problem is now I have to come up with a means of recharging those batteries, because they have to be fully charged. If it's got a low voltage, I could get a hung start or a hot start in the engine, and that will obliterate the rest of that turbine blade, or blisk is what they call it. What else have I got to do? We got to get cracking on making an afterburner for this thing. It's got a nozzle, but we need an afterburner. So to do that, I'm gonna have to take this nozzle off, and I need kind of use it as like a template, so I know what kind of flange I need to make, and then the rest of it I can kind of figure out myself. Probably use almost the same method I used on the other go-kart with the I'll take some measurements, but I'm pretty sure I could probably use like an 8.5-inch diameter exhaust pipe like I did on the last go-kart. That'll get me the materials I need. But I did come up with another idea. Paul Stedner, he's messed with a lot of these engines over the years, and I noticed on his eBay he's actually selling some different exhaust nozzles and an afterburner, and it'll bolt right to this engine. I'm thinking about buying that, and then it'll need to be modified, but it'll work. So that's always another option I can go with. Meanwhile, one thing I can do, there's an oil injection system on this where it's for like a smoke show, for like air shows and whatnot. I'm not gonna need that anymore. What I could do is maybe use the tank for the afterburner fuel, but it's gonna need a different pump for sure. Fortunately, I may or may not have just bought a new pump I was going to use for the fuel pump on the old go-kart. So I got a new fuel pump laying around. In fact, I've got 2 new fuel pumps laying around. But yeah, I got to figure something out. But that's I've got what, 8 or 9 days of absolutely nothing, and it's kind of nice. So I got enough to keep me busy for a little bit.